So right away, costumes screaming at me. One's in a chef's coat and then one is in a suit with slicked hair, appearing more professional. So visually, I can already tell one on the right, who I know now, his name is Garrett, is the more professional of the two. Okay, I'm gonna pause right away right here because a lot of times scenes include action that will tell you about the emotional state of the characters. So right now, these two are cleaning silverware. Guy on the left, Richie, he drops his fork so loudly. Why? He's upset. And not only is he upset, he wants Garrett to know that he's upset, but he's being passive aggressive. It's kind of like how we are in life. Like, we don't actually say how we're feeling. We just do little things to hint that we're upset, hoping the other person realizes. That's what's happening here. Also, notice Richie is on his second fork while Garrett is still on his first. So that means Garrett is taking his time while Richie is rushing. Again, he's clearly upset, but also his patience is wearing thin regarding whatever it is that he wants to talk about. So whatever this scene is about, this is all set up. No one has even said a thing. It's all set up to have this raw, honest conversation about what is truly bothering Richie, because something is brewing. To Garrett's point and to Richie's point, he knows when a fork is polished properly, right? So I'm having the feeling that he didn't polish it as well as he could have on purpose because he wanted to instigate this conversation. Again, passive aggressive, like how we are in real life. I also think it's interesting, right? Garrett seems to have this sacred perspective of the restaurant environment, right? He's not gonna say whatever he's about to say inside of the restaurant. It has to be outside of the restaurant. Also, the fact that he takes Richie outside to talk to him shows he cares, right? Managers never do that unless they do. Now is the part of the scene where we're going to arc, right? So at the beginning of the scene, this is Richie's scene, clearly. He doesn't care. He thinks he's not being used to his capabilities. He feels purposeless. And he's acting out of that emotional state. He's acting like he does not want to be there. And so by the end of the scene, he has to have a change. That's Garrett's goal and function in this scene, is to change Richie's perspective. Richie would not have changed as a character. Right. So I love these lines right here because it really shows Richie's emotional state, and his feelings about what he's doing is in direct opposition to Garrett, right? Because if you think about it, they both were doing the same action. It's just that they were doing it differently because they have different perspectives. And that visual was so important in the beginning because it shows people in two different levels, but they're doing the same thing. They just have different perspectives on what they're doing. And that comes up here. He says, we need to have forks without streaks in them. Very important, right? Because now he's contextualizing the action that they were doing and why it's important. Boom, this is why it's important. It's because it's about respect. You polishing the forks, it's about respect for the people that come to the restaurant. It's about respect for yourself as you do your work, etc., etc. And to be honest, this respect yourself line is the thing that really hit me, because this is where I felt like, okay, Richie's perspective has flipped, right? Because now you're telling him, when you disrespect yourself, you disrespect everyone else, and vice versa. That's clearly something he wasn't thinking about before. He was not thinking about everyone else. Also, the tone, right? This manager, he doesn't curse, he doesn't yell, but he's firm. And it's incredibly effective, right? Because he's preaching about respect and he's also giving it at the same time. I love that ask, right? Because Garrett says that he loves this and he loves hospitality, all of that stuff, but he doesn't even ask that from Richie, right? All he asks for is respect. And that's the change at the end of the scene when Richie says he can do respect. I love this line. I love it. He doesn't overpromise and say he's going to love it like Garrett because he doesn't have to. And Garrett's tone at the end is great too. The immediate switch, lovely, see you inside. You know, because Garrett did all that he can do and now it's up to Richie to want that change for himself, and it seems like he does. And I've never seen this season. In the comments, you'll have to tell me if I'm right, but just based on what I saw here, this seems like a turning point for this character.